you, I'd like to introduce Suresh Amesaar. Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce Suresh, managing partner at Lex Lumière. Suresh has a strong legal background in the media and entertainment industry with extensive experience in solving business and regulatory challenges, backed by powerful industry relationships and networking. Suresh has had a past clientele of working with Disney, Viacom, Tips Music. Suresh was also a part of the regulatory board for the 2012 amendment. Suresh's extensive experience makes him a true expert in this field. Please join me in welcoming Suresh Amesaar for our first masterclass on talent agreements, structuring, rights, and monetization. Over to you, Suresh.
Thank you so much, Rohan. That was quite a kind introduction. Uh, all right, I see a whole lot of people over here, and I don't know where to start from. From what I'm seeing, a lot many new names, lot many new faces. And like I said, if videos can be put on, that will make me more comfortable uh, just to see who is who. And of course, I'm presuming the crowd, what I've been told.
Hi, Moin.
Hi,
I'm
Priya.
fine. How are you? सब ठीक चल रहा है और तू बता
All right, that would be an interesting conversation to listen to. Priya, I think you're not on mute. Guys, can you hear me? Someone can acknowledge?
Yes, Suresh, we can hear
Okay.
you. We
All right.
we put every mute to get things started. If someone wants to speak, they can just unmute.
Perfect. So just wanted to understand. There are artists over here, variety of artists, label managers, and artist managers. I'm presuming again, that's the kind of crowd what you're looking at. There are, of course, some advocates and lawyers, what I see. Few of them I know. Correct?
Guys, you can drop it in the chat box if you're an
Yeah,
artist
it would
manager
be
or label.
just to understand the kind of crowd what we're talking about over here. And we can then take this direction, take this conversation ahead in that direction. Super, Ankita. Lovely, lovely. Killer. Okay. Lovely. Fair. All right. So okay. That's pretty much. Lakshmi, glad to connect. Yes. Lovely. Okay. Fair. So, all those who are artists, of course, you'll have to spare me. My voice may not be as pretty as yours, but yes, kindly adjust with this voice, right? And in case if there's any thing, what probably legal jargons, which I'm going to try and not use it over here, because I believe the language what you speak to should be understood by the people whom you're talking to. That's been my background. Again, I've been an operator in the past, worked in a BPO also, so we can probably talk the language what I'm going to try and talk the language what is easier for you guys to understand, right? Fair. uh how many people would you have your birthdays in this month, if I can ask again? Anybody from July, August?
Oh, my birthday is in August.
Lovely. Priyanka, I made a note of that. So Priyanka, of course, I worked with Priyanka as part of an animation company currently, and I've got a benefit of working with them. But yes. Oh, lovely. Ankit, wish you a belated happy birthday. Dipanshu. Fair. Okay. Given a choice to you guys now who have celebrated your birthdays, or probably for everyone, I think this applies to everyone, all of us. Given a choice to you guys, I would say, okay, it's your birthday, you're going to buy a cake, or probably your friends are buying a cake for you. I'll give you three options. One is Theobroma, which I'm probably familiar with, which is in my area. One is Leon's, probably, who makes cakes at home and sells it. And but wonderful cakes, right? It's one of the tasty, amazing chocolate cakes what he makes. And the third one probably would be Merwan's, which is closer to a local shop in your area. What's your preference? If I can ask you again, what would be your preference to go to?
Theobroma.
Amazing. Likewise, I would call it. Anybody else? This is Ankit. Is it Ankit? That's you on the video? Lovely. Priyank also goes for Theo. Right? In a larger scheme of things, again, I'm presuming out of the three people what we responded, myself including, we all three choose Theobroma over here, right? What does that indicate? Why wouldn't you go to an individual who's selling cakes better? Probably. Is there a reason? It's okay, you can talk. I prefer to keep it interactive rather than me just talking over here. It's better.
So it's known for giving good value at a premium price, and it's known to be a stickler for quality in terms of the products offered, especially on occasions. That's the branding it's kind of created.
Wonderful. So you okay, fair. Also the variety of what you may get at Theo as against compared to a Leon's who may be making only chocolate cakes, right? I think that's where I would want to start from and try and make a distinction over here, right? As an artist, basically, I'm just trying to draw parlance, right, guys? Not trying to demean over here anybody or probably not even demean the bakers over here, either ways. Because any profession, people do it with passion, right? All of us over here, me being a lawyer probably, or you being a artist over there, or probably a baker who bakes the cake, right? I think we all are those bakers who are baking their cakes. Let's put it that way, right? Now, however well you make it, however well you bake it, of course, there are a couple of things which I'll get into. One are the layers of cake, what we are talking about within the cake, what we make, even if it's a single tier, or even if we make a large wedding cake, which is a three-tier cake. Okay? What are we doing here? We are baking a cake, and at the same time, we know that while I may be making a beautiful cake, somewhere deep down, we know that the audience probably looks at the Theobromas of the world, or probably Merwans who can afford Merwans, then goes to a cake shop and buys it, right? What does it indicate to you? So when I say you are the baker, the labels, if I may say that, or probably the producers who are making these songs for you are actually the Theobromas of the world, or probably Merwans of the world, where it is easier for the audience to go to and buy the cake from. Now, the audience in this sense probably could be the consumers themselves, or probably the streaming platforms which pick up your song to be put up over there. It could be either ways, vice versa, right, over there. What does that indicate to you, therefore, then? Again, however beautiful cake you make, are you happy with serving your local audience only within the area or probably in a building where you're going to deliver that cake? Or do you want your cake to be placed in Theobroma shelf, like I call it, whether you want to sell or you want the shelf? What is your aspiration then as an artist? I would love some answers here, guys. Again.
So I would say a mix of both.
Sure.
As an
Yeah, go ahead.
As an artist, I would want my music to reach as many people through a music distributor or a label. At the same time, so a local presence can be within my building, and a regional presence or a national presence can be through the distributor or through a Theobroma, which is basically, someone who will place me to other customers also. So both basically. Basically, I'm looking for the label to give me maximum reach as much as possible. So more and more people listen to my creation. That's the ultimate aim, basically.
Wonderful. So when aspiration wise, definitely yes, I am again with you. But today, like we do, deals are probably of exclusive in nature, right? An artist probably starts making it So Theo would not want the similar kind of a cake to go to Merwan's. Correct? Therefore, the exclusivity gets into play, right? And if I have to take this further, then, right? Making of the cake, if I may say that, or baking of the cake, however you want to say that, is considered as production. Okay. And from a business perspective, if I have to tell you, having worked in-house in multiple international companies, I would want you to understand 4 aspects of businesses. Firstly, maybe as an artist, but eventually you will understand what I'm trying to get into. And I'll break it up for you so that it's easier for you to understand. I'm not going to speak legal jargons over here. I'm going to try and make it very simple for you over here. In any kind of business, in any kind of sector, probably there are 4, remember these things, 4 business units, what we call it, and then there are support functions. Okay. The 4 business functions, if you can see it, is production, marketing, sales, and distribution. Maybe people are aware of it. These are broadly 4 aspects of business, what you always consider. Production, marketing, sales, and distribution on one side. And then on the other side, there are support functions which help the business. They are not into business, but they help the business. Therefore, they are called support functions, which is your human resources, your IT guys, your admin guys, your legal guys, your any kind of support finance guys, right? All of these kinds, which are the support functions for the business, right? They don't do business. So therefore, in any company, these 4 primarily teams would be more stronger. Coming to these 4, therefore, which is more critical for you guys again to understand, production is something technically as an artist is something what you guys are doing, creation of work. Now in creation, whether it could be creation or it could be a buying, so to say, a ready-made product, like we call it a work for hire in simple terms, is creation. When I do something for you based on your request, is something which is called creation or other work for hire. These are all legal terminologies which we complicate so that we can earn money as lawyers. Of course, definitely, yes, that's where we get into. So otherwise, if you start understanding it, then you'll stop paying me. Don't do that because I also have a house to run, right? So while I'm teaching you here, please, okay? That's production for you guys again. Now, production, like I said, is of 2 types. When you create for somebody, that is work for hire. When I've already created and kept it, and if you want to buy it, like I said, from my shelf, now whether it is from my shelf or Theo from my shelf, somebody buys it, it's an assignment. That's the distinction, what you need to be clear of. Because the moment you say I'm creating for you, bro, remember it's already gone. The moment it is, I've created the first layer, or probably if I put it in the cooker pressure, or probably the first milk which I put in the bucket for the cake, it's already gone. So even if a uncooked, so to say, cake, unbaked cake, in that sense, belongs to the person who's engaged you on a work for hire basis. Are you guys getting it? I definitely see one face which is definitely very interested. I don't know about others. Okay, lovely, Ankita. Thank you so much. In case if there's any question, I don't mind being asked now, or probably can, if it's convenient for the team to park the questions for later, that would be great. I can address it later at one go, no problem. But if there's anything, you can just start pouring in the questions on the message box so that I can read it and address it at the same time, right? Otherwise, I'm presuming that yes, you guys are in sync with me, right? And if there's anything, please do just drop in a message at the WhatsApp. So there are 2 parts to that production, like I said, work for hire, assignment, okay? It could also be a license. That means probably technically in cake, it may not happen, of course, because I can't just take the cake and give it back. But in a license, that's what happens. I borrow it from you for a certain time, which is a license period, and then again give it back to you, to the owner, so to say. That's what a license is. So there are 3 concepts on the production side: work for hire, assignment, license, right? And then come your marketing, actually, and then is sales. These are 2 aspects of it. Broadly speaking, marketing and sales go hand to hand, but both have a very different role to play into. Marketing, in a simple Bombay language, if I may say that, it's called jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai. right? They make it visible for you. They take the cake from you, put it on the top shelf because your cake is worth it to be on the top shelf. If it's not that impressive, bro, you're getting the bottom shelf. Because when a person buys, you always want to see it on this wavelength of the eye. Okay, that is where if you see any kind of a, now if you go to a mall also, any kind of mall you go to, whether it's a D-Mart, whether it's Shopper Stop or anything like that, the things which are kept on the top shelf pay a premium for that, bro. The things which do not pay a premium are always at the bottom or probably back of the shelf, which you don't even notice. Okay, that is what marketing comes into play, which is what actually the labels invest in at a larger scheme of things. The shelf pricing, the kind of monies which go into making you visible is the job of the label. Now, like I said, you may be a wonderful baker, but unfortunately, except for a building guys, nobody knows it. It's only the, like we say, publicity through family and friends is something maximum what you reach up to. While I understand again, today we are living in a digital world, you may, however, be able to promote yourself somewhere. Let's accept the fact, guys, the kind of marketing investment which comes in is heavy. Okay, your production cost, we all know, right? Production cost somewhere marginally compared to the marketing costs are on the lower side. And therefore, what a label does, picks up an artist, picks up a product, makes it exclusive for itself because they know that I am going to invest further into this product or this talent, which will bring in more value to me. Today, if I sell a good cake out of a Theo, I know I'm going to have a repeat value over there. Now, the next time when he comes, probably I may not sell him the same cake, but I know he will definitely pick up something else from my shop, right? Same thing, same thing. Even if you do it as an individual, you maybe have to have a repeat value, no doubt about it. I would not deny that, of course. You all have talent and we all have our own individual talents, right? Now the person comes to me, I had sold him a chocolate cake earlier at 300 rupees, 500 rupees, whatever it was, which probably at Theo maybe $1,000, and therefore he comes back to me at 300 rupees. I'm sure I'm not going to sell it again at 300. What do I do therefore? I get a premium because I know it's a repeat value. Sir, ये बार sir वो 400 रुपया लग गया sir, और वो तेरे को देखे जाएगा. He will definitely give it to you because he knows that the cake was wonderful. He's enjoyed the cake, right? He's enjoyed your product, whatever you had made, and therefore there's a repeat value to you. Now again, are you really happy with that one individual coming to you? No, definitely not. You want yourself to be more visible. You want yourself to be more sellable. You definitely want to achieve that target market of what you want to, right? And if I have to draw an analogy over there, I think Apple, you guys, I'm surely you would be aware of it, the Apple marketing strategy, they don't look at capturing the entire market. I personally believe, and this is very, very much my personal opinion on this, guys. I personally believe that what Apple does is the best strategy. You first only capture the, so to say, the low hanging fruit and whom you know are going to follow you. Capture your target audience, which is following you. Let the second followers follow those followers instead of you trying and capturing the world at one go. It doesn't happen overnight. Apple, if you see, invest less in marketing, but more on the product. That's the differentiator over there. So I don't know if you guys getting it. What I'm trying to tell you guys, if you get a label on your site, wonderful. No doubt about it, right? We all know we are in a good space then. Even if you don't get a label, while you are still working your own product, guys, have faith in your own product because it's your product. You have to probably target to those people whom you believe or probably who you know that believe in your product. If you try, like I said, right, you can't open up a, so to say, or you can't keep an eggless cake on the top of the shelf in a Jain market. I'm sorry, that will never sell. Are you getting it? What I'm trying to say here, guys? try and know your audience. That's what it is all about here. Your consumption of the product is more important for you rather than just the creation of it and try and running behind something or somebody to buy it. Because boss, he's got limited shelf over here. He's got limited funds. Everybody over here, any label you talk about, any product you talk about, there's only this much shelf for me. Can I fit in every artist over here? There are billions of artists over here. Millions, at least. Unfortunately, we live in a country where it's countless again, and huge talent over here. So few of them are being picked up, few of them are being left out, few of them are doing on the individual, few of them are getting lucky one way or the other. Try and find your niche, guys. I would not know it. You guys would know it better, right? Where do you fit in? What's that market? Where should you go that it is easily being accepted rather than you struggling at a place where it's not going to be accepted or probably going to be hard for you? We all have limited life here, unlimited or probably unpredictable, however you want to say that. So why waste time on something which is not going to be worth it or probably which is going to take time? If yes, of course, I'm not saying shut down that door. But is it only that one door that you're running behind? No, try and explore other market. That's my thought on marketing and production part of it. I'll quickly move to the third part of it, which is the sales part of it. And to make you guys understand in a very simple terms, sales doesn't mean selling of your product. Okay, in our business at least. Sales is like, to make a differentiator, a YouTube and a Netflix or Amazon, correct? Somebody can quickly tell me YouTube and differentiator between the Netflix and Amazon? Anybody? Or what the message is also is fine.
So YouTube is basically a social media platform for videos,
Of course.
while Amazon, Netflix are OTT. And when you're selling to Amazon or Netflix,
Hello, one differentiator.
there's an option of getting a sync license, basically.
Okay, no. Okay, so business-wise, I'll tell you again. Just quickly moving ahead to sort of fair enough. The one differentiator accepted, OTT versus social media, but the prime differentiator, both are video on demand. Okay. However, one is AVOD, right, and one is SVOD. What is the differentiator? Advertising vis-a-vis subscription. Okay. In YouTube, you will see advertisements. Correct, exactly. Dipanshu, thank you. YouTube is a advertiser video on demand, whereas Netflix, Amazon's and other premium on demands are subscription video on demand. That means the revenues what YouTube earns is from advertisements, and the revenue what Netflix or Amazon works is more of subscription. Internationally is more a subscription based market. US, UK, which are more developed markets, are more driven by subscription based as compared to UK, still lesser. US definitely, yes, it's more highly subscription based market. YouTube is advertisement. So when you get advertisements which are run in between your product, okay, is something what a sales team does. Yeah, just stop it. Sorry, just one thing. So the advertisements which actually pay money, okay, which is run in between your product, before, after, in betweens, right? We all watch cricket matches, correct? How many advertisements do you see after every over, probably after every wicket, right? It's sold at a premium, guys, correct? That is what a sales team does based on your product and the viewership of your product. Therefore, higher the viewership, higher is your revenue from the sales of third-party product, which is coming in between your ad. So if I have to again draw parlance of the cake, I got a cake, but I'm giving free candles along with it. Now, candles is not something what a cake maker makes or a baker makes. Candles is of a third party, which gives you 10 rupees to put his candle along with the cake. You are charging it eventually to the customer only in that 10 rupees was. So that's a third party product, service, whatever it may be, which pays a revenue on your product. Now today, again, if you as an independent artist puts up your songs on YouTube, you get revenues for those advertisements, right? That is where the revenue comes in for you, actually. YouTube earns revenue from those advertisers, passes you a portion of it. Negotiations, I don't know how you guys are doing it. Again, there's a standard mechanism of YouTube. I don't know whether you guys negotiate, don't negotiate. But the moment it goes higher, this should go higher. It's proportionate to your viewership. Okay, keep this in mind again. That's your sales part of it, which is still a little easier. And the last part is distribution, which is where we all, I think, probably should be focusing on, and you guys should be focusing on. You got a cake, you got an audience, or probably you got a friends of yours. I would call them, chalo yaar, I've got close 5 friends of mine, definitely. I've called them home. What do you think I do when I cut the cake? Do I cut a cake in exactly 5 equal portions and give all those 5 big pieces? Do I do that? No. What do I do? Therefore, I cut the half, and then the second half probably also I probably cut it into a quarter and make 5 pieces of the quarter, right? That's what in an ideal situation what we do. वो आधा वाला केक उठा के हम फ्रिज में रख देते हैं. Correct, no? That's what generally it's a standard norm, right? In all the families, I would say that. Or for at home also, you leave the quarter half over there on the table कि हाँ ठीक है, किसी को second piece चाहिए रहेगा तो वो काट के ले लेगा, of course. Exactly. Thanks. I think that's what is distribution over here. So when you are giving a piece of your song, of your creation, you don't pick up the entire cake and give it to somebody, boss, unless you're getting a value for that cake. Right? There are 2 pieces of selling the same way that cake. Either I sell the cake as a whole, or do I make a pastry out of it and sell it? Boss, what do you want to buy? How much price are you going to pay me? Are you paying the price for a cake? Or are you just going to pay me price for the pastry? If you're going to pay a price for a pastry, here it is. Take this and go home. Unfortunately, what is happening here, and not due to any of your faults, guys, you guys are creators, you should be focusing on creation. This is where actually the monetization happens. When you make the cake and give it away at a value of a pastry, unfortunately. Because distribution is something a very dramatic and very ever growing, so to say, platform agnostic kind of thing, which is happening in today's state, right? I'll come to it again later, but these are the 4 primary aspects which you probably guys need to keep in mind. Quickly cutting it further into these 2 parts, production and marketing are the cost part of it, if you look at it. Sales and distribution are the revenue part of it. Production is something what you do, marketing is something what a label does. Or probably production also is done by the label through its investment, but you are the talent and you get a pie out of it. Who's doing what? Therefore, you need to understand that during your negotiations. What is my role? What am I going to do? What is your role? What are you going to do? Those guys who are doing labels, guys, I know there are artists on this calls, but this is business. And artists, labels are the guys actually who are investing into you guys. So while you have the talent of creation, of creating beautiful works, beautiful lyrics, singing, and everything else, unfortunately, you have to accept it that labels and the marketing guys are the guys who are investing into you to make you visible, right? Somewhere then it's relationship, ethics, everything else gets into play. That's a part, but it's each to its own after that, because I don't know, again, multiple artists work with different labels work with multiple artists. So it's all on who's investing into what, how each one is helping over there on the production and marketing side. Similarly, it's the sales and distribution side. it goes to the label because they have the relationship in place. As an individual artist, you can't be running door to door unless you are associated with the label. Then the label does it for you because he knows, because I've invested in marketing, I am going to earn from the sales and distribution over here. Because if they don't recover, they lose money. And if you're an individual, you need to ensure what you're selling, like I said, on the distribution part. Are we guys clear till here? Because I'm going to move further now, right? Unless any questions till now, please let me know.
Hi, can you elaborate a little more on sales? Like as
Surely.
an artist, how do you make sure that your sales reach to a point that benefits the artist?
So sales primarily, like I said, Kyra, is a third-party product advertisement on your, so to say, the song, if I may say that. Now, there are two ways of it. One is your product placement. Okay. I don't know how, but yes. And I'm sorry, pardon me, but I'm not really a creative guy. But if I had to probably make a rap song, if I may say that, and I bring in a very good reference of Coke and Pepsi in between, hypothetically, I'm very much saying that, and go to a Coke and Pepsi and say, hey, listen, yeah, I made this song. Why don't you listen to it? How do you like it? Why don't you do something? That's one kind of collaboration, I'm saying again. Similarly, probably while performing your song, even if I have to say that, you may tend to have an intentional use of a product which has something somewhere references to your song. Somewhere it will hurt you down the line because there are regulations there in UK. But can you do it? Answer to that is yes. The other way of doing it is purely sourcing advertisements, which a YouTube does it for you. You don't do it independently. So none of the, I mean, unless there is a larger relationship in place, like a T series and all, which may have a right to put advertisements on the songs, what are we playing on YouTube or other channels or streaming channels, which hardly any platform gives you a right, Kaya. So that it's very limited for an artist in that sense to get revenue from sales. Independent artist who's not represented by a label then.
So where does an independent artist at this time where independent artists are rising? So where do we sort of get something from our work when we are putting it out so that we can, invest the same in the next project? वो
So
कहाँ
that
से
is fair. So that is the only part of distribution then, Kyra. Currently, the revenues for distribution is something which comes to you right now. The revenues from received from DSP goes under which category? Yeah, okay. So that's the distribution revenue, Kavya. Kyra. I'll just explain the distribution part to you. Probably you guys can then try and relate to this. Okay, production is cake, what you make. Okay. Within the production, there are different layers of cake. Okay. Your writing works, which is your lyrics, your musical composition, and your performer artist. These are the three layers. What you have? Correct?
Yes.
Okay, fair. Therefore, that becomes the entire cake. If you are a songwriter, that means if you're creating all three layers by yourself,
yes,
the entire cake is yours, so to say. You made the cake. However, if you are getting in Kavya, for example, on your side, who's a lyrics writer, and you are merely a performer or probably just a music composer, then the bifurcation of whatever the money is going to come is going to be shared. I'm presuming that much is very obvious and very clear to all of you.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. So when that cake comes in, and from a lawyer's perspective, please understand that is the IP, what we are talking about. That is what is the intellectual property, copyrights, XYZ, everything else is getting created over there. As all the lawyers, I'm sure you guys understand that is what you need to protect. If you missed out, would you buy a cake if there's a small hand lick on it? No, right? You would never buy that cake. You will say, nahi yaar, ye to defective hai, dusra piece de do. That is the same thing on IP for us. If I've not checked it, where are those lyrics coming from? Where is that music composition coming from? Have you copied it from somewhere else? And multiple clauses, what you read in the agreement, has to ensure that that cake is not licked by anybody else. If there's any lick on the cake, I'm sorry, I'm not going to buy that cake. Okay, that is where is production. As a lawyer, that is critical for you. Ankit, sorry, need to say something? Fair. That is production. Similarly, when I'm giving the cake now, when it comes to distribution, and that is what I thought, I think probably you may understand this. Distribution is making the smallest piece of the cake and giving it to somebody. And if I have to make it further simple for you, there are 4 elements again within 3, 4, 4. Okay. Term, territory, language, platform. Break this in your head. Term, as simple as that. Is there any complication to define the term? No?
No.
Yes. Anybody? Perfect. I am giving you for perpetuity, like we call it, which is forever. I am giving you for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. It can be defined. It's tangible. It can be easily defined, right? That's term for you. Territory is something, again, can be easily identified, defined. I am giving it to you for Mumbai, for Maharashtra, for India, for Indian subcontinent, for APEC, for Southeast Asia, probably we may call it, or probably for the world. That's your territory, how you break it up. Third is language. Again, multiple. What are you giving me for? I have made it in Hindi. You can exploit it only in Hindi, boss. I made it in English. You can only exploit it in English. Of my sound recording, so to say. Again, am I also giving away my underlying works in that sense? Music composition, all literary works for him to go and dub this song into French or French language, or probably Spanish. I don't know. Again, that's negotiations, right? So how do you negotiate and what do you break is term, territory, language. The most important is the platform. Most important today's date. You may see it right now, like you're saying DSPs. You're calling it streaming, basically, I'm presuming. Digital streaming platforms. That's what you've seen, right? DSPs.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Tell me, what are the forms of streaming platforms, if I may ask? What you're familiar with right now? Savan, Ghana.
Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music.
Fair. Would you, if
You,
I say,
Savan.
perfect. If I have to say that there's a whole lot of differentiation between Apple Music and stream Ghana, for example, right?
The quality, you mean?
No, that's where distribution gets into play. That's the expertise. What you probably try and need to understand.
Territory, if I like the Apple Music is universal and Ghana is, I think, more towards like Savan and Ghana is more towards Indian music and Apple Music is
So
universal.
Apple allows you download. Correct. It allows you permanent download in that sense, whereas others are streaming. Apple allows you only streaming also, but Apple also allows you permanent download. You can download it, keep it, no problem. Now, what is happening when you're allowing download? Boss, you're losing your streaming revenues somewhere. Because I've downloaded, kept it, I'll keep listening to it. Apple allows those for movies. Definitely, yes, I'm well aware of it. You need to see. Now, also, this is not just about downloading or probably not downloading or just streaming. It is more than that. It is what is the mode and mechanism of the delivery which is being used through what. So am I giving you exclusivity for streaming through a specific mode? It may differ. Earlier, and I mean, again, I go back decades, probably, maybe, but earlier it was very simple. And if I have to take you through the history of really the cinematograph films, if you really see the trend, and the lawyers can relate to the year of act, is 1952 Cinematograph Act, which is the films, theaters. 1957, the Copyright Act, which is when the copyright got introduced. After that, jump to 1994, which is the Cable TV Act, which is when the cable TV was introduced. 1999 is something when the broadcasting bill was introduced in India, which is when the foreign channels came into India. After that, it is the cable TV which became a boom, and then DTH got into play. After that, you're looking at 2012 uplinking through satellite and all kind of things. And today you're sitting on internet and digital mechanism, and now it is convergence. This has been the flow of growth of tech. Now, if you're giving away, like I said, the cake, right? If your distribution piece is not cut properly, what you're doing is giving away a bigger piece to somebody. Unless you want to sell the cake entirely to somebody. That's a different piece altogether. I don't know if that answers your question, Kyra, but as an artist, if I am giving my song to Sawan, hypothetically, or probably Sawan exclusively for streaming platforms, then it is only going to Sawan. Unless it is non-exclusive, doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter then I can give it to somebody else. But your exclusive deals are to be ensured to have that proper cut of that cake. What mechanism, how are you going to deliver, where are you going to deliver, what language you're going to deliver, how long you're going to deliver. Like I said, term, territory, language, platform. Platform is the most critical one. We as lawyers probably know the mode, mechanism, annexure. I think somebody needs to understand that mode, mechanism, annexure. Please read it once before you sign it. You can't read it, I'm there, definitely, yes. Don't worry about it.
Hey Suresh, wanted to open up for some more questions. There are some more
Okay.
artists since we have like limited time. Wanted to
Yeah,
open
yeah.
up the floor for some more questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course, of course. I think this is what, broadly, guys, this is what it is. Of course, there's lots to it. I don't think, uh, there's end to all of it. I will definitely try and address everything in this period of questions, whatever you guys have. Feel free.
Yeah, so I had one question regarding sync license. Now
Yes.
let's assume I have made a song which is out on streaming platforms. Tomorrow, one producer of a Netflix or Amazon series wants to use some parts of the song or the whole song in their web series in one of the episodes. And I give a sync, I do a sync deal with them. And so will a sync license be a part of distribution or sales in this case?
Who has given sync to whom, firstly?
So I'm giving this license to the OTT platform to use my song in their web series.
Okay.
It's a sync deal.
Yeah, it's a sync deal.
So
Fair.
this will be part of sales or will this be part of distribution,
It will
technically?
be part of, I would call it distribution still, because you are giving the sound recording, right?
Yeah, not the masters.
Yeah, it will be part of distribution. Tell me. Sorry.
It's a license.
License, yeah, correct. It would be, it will not be an assignment, it would be a license, right?
Yes.
Correct. So you will have to ensure, again, like I said, term, territory, platform, mode. Ensure. Netflix ko de rahe ho, sir. How long are you going to use it? Because it's a sync, they will say, okay, give it for perpetuity, because once I sync it, I can remove it. Fair? Territory, which territory are going to use it? They will say, okay, I'm going to use it worldwide. Unfortunately, yes or no, that's your call. Then comes the language, because it's an original language you're giving it for. Now they will ask you, okay, can I dub this song? Because Netflix today, let's say it's a series, whatever, XYZ, which is a Hindi series, correct? Goes across the world, but Netflix Spanish will dub it in Spanish. What happens to your song which is in the background, bro? Correct? I don't know answer to it. You will need to find an answer to it. Same thing on the delivery mechanism, which is that fourth piece of platform. I am giving it to you for Netflix only, if I may say that, which is delivered through an XYZ mechanism. Tomorrow you can't say Netflix has picked up this movie, gone on theaters and showing it on theaters now. That's a differentiator. Boss, I get additional revenue for it. I'm sorry. But if you ask me where does it fit in, it fits in distribution. The moment you are clear with these 4 breakups, no. Half of your life is short. 3, so anyways, it's easier. The 4th one is more critical. I don't know if that answers again convincing or no. Thanks. Anyone else? Feel free, guys. I'm very much open to your questions. It will help me. It will make me happier that somebody understood.
Hi, Suresh.
Hi, Abhi.
So one thing what I understood from what you mentioned is if you're a creator majorly, and if you're not getting signed on by or if the label is not working with you, majorly the sales or the marketing part, they are very strong at, right? They are very strong with it. So
Absolutely.
if you're not able to do it, what I've heard is let's say I have the product ready and that is a song, and if I sign up with IPRS, so IPRS takes up this responsibility to put our work in places where we are not able to reach as artists. So is that correct, or is that a way to go to do and do?
IPRS has its own, so to say, limitation of probably. I don't know about if they do promote independent artist songs or no, but yes, they may have a separate vertical which they may be doing it. But I am personally not aware of it, Abhi,
Okay.
that they may be promoting independent artist songs or no. Their otherwise formal, so to say, role is to license and to collect royalties on behalf of the authors and the owners now.
Correct. Yeah.
Primarily the authors. Of course, as a business, considering that they are society of the authors, maybe they are promoting definitely the independent artist works and all in a certain way. I can definitely check and come back to you, Avi, on this. But am I personally aware of them promoting something like this? Not really. Unless they give away license on your behalf to the platform, and if you authorize them to do so. Have they taken any kind of separate authorization from you? Because they will need a letter from you.
Yeah, in the sense, obviously that's with consent. They will work with us, and if because they have the reach within the industry, they have relationships, right?
Of
So
course.
if they find your work to be useful, they will work for you. And yeah, if in place there's an agreement actually. So
Correct, correct,
I've
correct.
heard about it. I've not yet explored, so I'm just I wanted to run it by and get a confirmation on that. So
I believe they have. Again, like you correctly said, do they, how much actively they are doing it? I'm not very sure.
yeah, okay.
I can check on that and I can come back to you. I mean, separately again. Rowan can share your number with me. I'll definitely check and come back to you on this.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Sure. DS, please.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sure.
So basically, we make a song and music videos, and when we pitch A&R of the big music label, they want our songs to release for free. They will not pay any amount, and if our song get viral on Spotify, they will not even give any amount. So basically, we are in a loop for 2 or 3 years. We are creating good content, but we are not able to generate the revenue that we wanted. So how can we do that? Can you give me any roadmap?
You are an artist, I'm presuming, Ankit?
I have 7, 8 artists,
And whom are you giving this
and I'm
to? As in the likes of Beliefs and all of the world?
basically I can name the labels.
It's okay. Like the Believe and all you're talking about, or
No,
probably the music labels you're talking about.
I'm giving to the big label for the Punjabi and like T Series and Sony tapes. But the thing is that they give me a contract where all the things belong to them, and if after releasing they will make money, but means
No, but
we
how
will
can you
not.
not get a share of it? As in, what is then the value for you? What you're getting? Promotion
They
in that.
they they they
Visible.
they give us like they are like your content is good, but we will release it and we will showcase your work to the world, and you will get the name and fame, and but the royalty will taken care by them.
No,
This
so
is the
there are two
first.
parts to it. There are two parts to it.
Okay.
Uh, One, of course, because like sometimes what happens, I may not get a monetary benefit out of it, but at the same time, definitely I am getting the benefit of my visibility in that sense. Now, if I believe my product is good, like I said, it will automatically get visibility if it is targeted to the right market and shown to the right audience. Now, hypothetically, again, if I'm making a Punjabi song and sitting with a Gujarati producer who's sitting in Gujarat and promoting my song, I don't think probably it may get accepted as compared to again a similar market but going to UP and Bihar or probably those kind of places. I know somewhere I'll get definitely visibility. So that's one part of it, what you need to analyze as to where and how it is being shown and what where they are promoting it in that sense. See, I am giving it to somebody, it's okay. But if I'm giving it to free of cost to you, I definitely think I should have the right to ask you, boss, where are you going to invest your money into promotion or marketing into it? Just because you're taking it doesn't mean if I take it, you're going to show it, right? Then why am I giving it to you free? That should be the question for you, actually. And secondly, of course, I mean, whatever said and done, even if I've given it free to you, while I may not get any license fee, but definitely I should get the royalties for it because I am the author and the owner of such works. You should grant a license in this case to your songs, to the music labels, not an assignment, not in perpetuity for sure. Because the moment your song goes popular, you are saying, I've given it away to T series for perpetuity. Was sorry, yaar. Then a mistake done, right? Like I said, you've given away the cake to somebody to eat it at a price of zero value. Just because he liked the cake, उसने अच्छा लगा, तो टेस्टर की जगह पे आपने सर पूरा केक दे दिया उसको. अंकित साहब, you getting it? Ankit, I don't know if that
Yes,
answers the question.
I'm getting. I'm
So it should be a
understanding it.
license. It should be a license for limited period with the understanding of you achieving visibility on the marketing aspect of it and where your song is going. In short, not for perpetuity, for sure. Okay.
Yeah. So one small question, Suresh.
Yes.
So a lot of people here are independent artists, and right now we're not at the stage, that we will be getting into major negotiations, with major labels because we haven't really grown in terms of our Spotify numbers or our Instagram followers. But should the need arise in the future that we are sitting on the negotiation table with a major label, be it in India or be it abroad in the US, and we require help from legal consultants, someone like yourself. And in that case, we want to work with someone legal who will help us navigate the contracts in a very transparent manner, so that we don't end up signing something which is against us.
Of course.
So in that process, how does it work with lawyers? Like, do they charge a fee for the entire contract, or they charge a project kind of a payment which is prepaid? How does it work?
It depends again, your relationship, right? I think as lawyers work purely on relationships, purely with an intent to ensure that our clients' interests are definitely protected. I think all lawyers work with the same intent way. I can talk about the lawyer fraternity. In terms of pricing, it depends completely how your arrangement is with the lawyer. Now, if you're coming to me for one song, one contract, somewhere what happens, the efforts are the same with all due respect, right? But whether it's an individual song or probably not, then it depends on the efforts of the agreement or the negotiations which are ongoing. If I have to let go most of the clauses because सामने T series है, for example, मुझे पता है, I mean from experience I'll tell you, I know what they will agree, what they will not agree, what you should agree, what you should not agree. Correct? I work like that, Ankit. Ankit, right? Sorry.
Abhishek.
Abhishek. I work like that because I know that somewhere something is worth fighting or not fighting. So each lawyer is very different, but does it link back to your revenues or to your profits or to your project? No, no, no. It should never be, boss. That's I think it's unfair, at least from a lawyer perspective, if I have to say that. I don't think so. I link that. It should be either a fixed fee or probably a retainer fee if you have a larger umbrella or larger relationship, not otherwise.
Oh.
Otherwise, it's a nominal number. What you put on a number, क्या fine, ठीक है यार, इतना है, चल ठीक है, आगे चल देख लेंगे. I mean, I work very differently again, Abhishek, but it should be a fixed fee, I would say, per project. Can you collect your royalties directly? Answer to that is yes, the law allowed you. Okay, but unfortunately today, the platforms and the so to say the broadcasters or platforms XYZ and all say, boss, I will only pay to IPRS, nobody else. But can they deny you royalty? Answer negative, clearly negative. I can give this to you in writing. The law allows you to collect the royalties and your fee directly from the platforms. Unfortunately, your negotiation power out there is lesser as compared to IPRS. IPRS collects it, and I think it goes into multiple zeros, and you get a share of the larger pie. Now, if you go in alone and ask for a royalty, I wonder your negotiation power is much lesser in that sense. You may still get a very, very, very small pie out of it. So, does it really make sense? Yes or no? Again, it's a very big thing. I think there was one more question regarding publishing. Term language is supposed to be set by artists or their lawyers. Okay, so commercially, if you ask me, term, platform, territory, language is supposed to be confirmed by the, so to say, the commercial business side, artists themselves, or probably if you have a good lawyer, then definitely a lawyer should be guiding you on all of this. But it's important that you should know it's your product again, right? Whether you are a label, whether you are an artist. Like I said, right? If a baker doesn't know कि केक कितने में उसको बेचना है, तो then there is a problem. No, बीच में मार्केटिंग मैनेजर है, वो जाके 500 रुपए बीच में कमा लेगा, आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा, आपको वही 200 मिलेगा केक बनाने का फिर. So you should know at least your rights to be enable you to get your value of the cake, guys. This is why this masterclass, I think Rowan has facilitated to ensure that you guys are aware as to what your rights are. Now, I know I have not used jargons over here, and you may be expecting a little bit different over here. But like I said at the very beginning, it's very important for me to use the language what the audience understands. If I would have used the same language like copyright में ये angle है, ये section ये बोलता है, I think probably, at least I would want to believe that. Unless you guys are familiar with the section numbers and all, definitely we can quote that. But I hope this has been of help for you to understand as to what you guys were looking for in this seminar or a masterclass. But yes, the term, territory, platform, language can be set by you or by your lawyers if they're familiar with it. Price is also a big difference. IPRS royalties, I think I've addressed. Collect royalties. Published company takes that responsibility for an artist, not IPRS. Yes, correct. If you are associated with public companies, then definitely yes. For the music labels, didn't pay the right way. What action can an artist take on this type of situation? What is the distribution didn't pay the right royalty? So when you say royalty, you artists use royalty in a different sense. Under law, the royalty is different. Let's be very clear on that first. Your streaming revenues which come to you from DSPs to the music label or to you directly, in the legal parlance, it's called the license fee, not the royalties. Royalties is something which is collected by the IPRS, which is different. IPRS doesn't collect money from streaming platforms. It is different. they collect royalties for the authors, for the music composer and for the lyricist, which comes to you for the DSP's platform. But if you are the owner of your sound recording, so to say your song, and you are not associated with the label or the belief or anybody of the world, and if it is going on streaming platforms, dude, I'm also supposed to get a license fee for that, which is separate, which you call royalties. So please make a distinction in your head. There are two different things. If that addresses your answer again, Dipanshu. So therefore, what distribution or right royalty which is not paid to you, it would depend on that. Can you take action? Definitely you can. You can ask them to take off your song from the platform if that's a platform, or probably go back behind it for recovery if it was a larger number, but I don't believe in litigation. I believe it's not worth it. It's a waste of your hard-earned monies. It somewhere needs to be resolved, yes, but at the same time, can somebody continue to use it legally? No, I don't believe in that either. So yes, it needs to stop for sure. Uh, Please share a common email ID where we can submit our request for contract negotiations. Abhishek, that's you, of course. I will share that separately, of course, or probably I can share it here. It's Suresh at lexlumiere.com. Lex Lumière, basically, Lex is legal, Lumière is light. We enlighten on the legal side of it. But given, again, my experience, I help you guys to structure, facilitate completely everything else in all aspects of the business then. I think it's okay, fairly. You can write to me on the email address, Dipanshu. We can connect later. Surely, Dipanshu, this is me. Rohan, is it fine if I share my mobile number?
Yeah, it's totally up to you. And if you want, we can stop the questions as well because I know we are running out of time.
I'm happy to continue. It's okay. I love sharing, guys. I love sharing knowledge. Rohan, thank you so much for this opportunity, if I may say that. I've never done this, guys. I think this is, of course, Rohan's relationship with us, and uh, thank you, Rohan, for this, making this possible. Yes.
No, no, I think I've been getting a lot of messages while you've been talking, and everyone's really benefited from this. So thank you for taking the time to help independent artists. Independent artists can't always afford to get legal help, and I feel like you solved a lot of their queries. So again, yeah, always great to be connected with Suresh. I've worked with him personally, and definitely reach out to him. I want to further add that we have a WhatsApp community called Artist Ally. We have over 200 plus, participants where there are label managers, there are lawyers, there are artists. So all we are trying to do is build a community to help independent artists. So Drishti somewhere in the chat has dropped the WhatsApp link to the community. So no matter who you are, but you're connected to the music ecosystem, you can join in, and we will be sharing the recording of this masterclass with permission, of course, of Suresh. So you guys can go over the information over again, and yeah, thank you so much.
Looking forward, guys. Thank you so much. Really, it's been wonderful. I hope this has been useful for you guys, as full as useful for me. I would say that, in fact. And once again, Rohan, thank you so much for giving this opportunity.